Stop-motion animation has been around pretty much as long as there's been movies, ever since people like George Méliès discovered you can make some pretty neat effects if you stop recording, move things around, and start recording again. And if you do it more than once, it creates the illusion of movement. Animator Willis O'Brien popularized the technique with his dinosaur effects for the silent film The Lost World, and later the creatures of Skull Island for King Kong, which was considered revolutionary at the time. Interestingly, for most of its history, stop motion was not considered an animation form, but a special effect that was inserted into live-action movies. Ray Harryhausen and his monsters made huge advances in this in the 1950s and 60s. In fact, stop-motion movies never really took off until the invention of computer animation, probably as a response to the replacement of hand-drawn animation by CGI. It really has a look that can't be replicated by computers. Doing stop motion is actually pretty simple. It's just tedious and takes a lot of practice to make it look professional. Basically, it just uses the concept that what we see as video is actually just a series of pictures, and rather than record them live, you record still pictures one at a time by moving your figure or clay ever so slightly each picture. The more you move it, the faster it'll appear to move when you play it back. You can use clay, you could use pretty much anything, including real live actors. Screw up one thing and you have to restart the shot, so this does take a lot of time. But in some cases it is actually easier because it's all miniature. No need for expensive sets, you could basically make them out of cardboard. And you don't need to have actors actually there. They could all record separately and then you insert the recordings into your movie later. I first started doing claymation when I was in 5th grade, and not knowing anything, my first movies were at 240p at 5 frames per second, so it looks pretty choppy. I later increased that to 10 frames per second and then eventually 15, while professionals go at 24 frames per second, so 24 still pictures taken for every second of video. And my earliest ones, I did all the voices, and as you could see, I didn't know that you needed to have stable lighting, so it has an annoying flicker effect. I suppose my movies would be categorized as kids' movies. It's usually about aliens or monsters, that kind of thing. I did get better. I eventually made a 22-minute claymation. It took an entire year to make. It was a sequel / spin-off to the one I made before that, and also a prequel to my very first real claymation. Doing these is really what got me here. I was able to learn about screenwriting, cinematography, lighting, editing, all within the comfort of my own room.